is working. Let's hope and pray this doesn't stop. So a big welcome and hello to what have we just read today on Wednesday, the 15th, with Nadia and Mike and with Regina. Great. So what have we just read today? We've read some actually quite cool stuff. Isaiah was kind of amazing. Isaiah 6.
Yeah.
So I guess a lot of these readings are being selected because we're coming up to Christmas. It's Advent. And Isaiah is full of lots of prophecy about the coming of Jesus and the new kingdom and his promises and all that stuff. So I think there's a lot of these readings now, I think, are sort of investigating some of the prophecies and learnings from Isaiah. Kirill, hi, good to have you with us. Excellent.
And today's chapter was a vision of God that Isaiah had in Israel, and that's very visual for
it's great, isn't it? I love this with the angels, isn't it?
Yeah, Seraph's 6 wings.
The 6 wings, I love that. With 2 of them for flying, and 2 covered their feet and 2 covered their faces, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's the first time I've come across
exactly.
This description of what each wing is for.
This idea of angels with 6 wings, that's kind of really interesting. And this whole idea of people with unclean lips and taking a coal, that was really interesting. The seraph touched my lips with the coal. Now that sin has touched, now that this has touched your lips, your guilt has departed and your sin is blotted out. It's really interesting.
That's interesting. Actually, it really reminds me, I don't know if it will be familiar to all, but it will definitely be familiar to all the Russian speakers, because there's this poem by Pushkin which is called The Prophet. And I mean, it's amazing how much it draws on this particular chapter, because there, in the poem, the narrator is in the desert, so he encounters a seraph, and the seraph tears out his tongue and tears out his heart and puts the coal inside his chest instead of his heart, and now he can proclaim the truth. So
that's really interesting.
Yeah, so it's definitely, I'm sure it's
definitely based on this, isn't it?
So it must be definitely based on Isaiah.
They've got Vera's, of course, added something very valuable. I think God's message to be brought by Isaiah is deep. God says, make people's mind dull. They listen and see, but do not understand. God wants people to have a hardened heart. So
here it says that he will destroy everything and then build the new.
It is interesting, but it's so true of life. The whole thing of God says people's minds are dull. They listen to this and see but do not understand. It's so true of just about everything in life. I just sent an email before this morning prayer, and I got a message during morning prayer, and it's exactly that. It's like, really, you read but you do not understand. It's just amazing.
Especially if we get caught up in all those emotions. So
And this is just a simple, silly thing, and we'll fix it, but it's just like, you just don't understand. It's like, open your eyes. It's so much, but anyway. But it is interesting, the whole idea of looking but not seeing, listening but not hearing. So true of many things.
And here actually towards the end, we have those words that everything will be burned until everything is felt. And then again, what you said about Jesus, I think that the very last sentence here, it also can be a reference to Jesus. So the holy seed is its stump, and then he maybe about Jesus
destroying everything from the past.
The new world being built on.
Thank you, Nana. Another 5 people watching. Amazing. Encouraging. That is good. Yeah, so those last words, the holy seed is its stump. Right, is an idea that perhaps after everything's been destroyed and broken and burnt,
it's the foundation
of the new covenant, the new deal, the new way that Jesus promises. Yeah, that's a great observation, actually. But that second paragraph is amazing. And then Matthew 5. This is interesting. And it's very sort of practical. Jesus is quite chatty here. It's quite a long thing. And I love that whole idea about if you're going on the way to prison, you know, or going to the judge with someone who accuses you, then figure it out on the way to court. If you don't, you might end up in prison, and it's like, then I truly tell you, you'll never get out until you've paid the very last penny. Sounds like very practical advice, doesn't it? It sounds very everyday, down to earth. You know, normally you think of Jesus as sort of talking in very high-powered prophecies and parables and all the other amazing things he says, but this sounds like just regular everyday advice.
We obviously need to take it metaphorically, especially the bits about cutting your hands and eyes. But they're all very practical if we treat them.
But it is interesting about having anger in your heart. Gosh, how often do we all have anger in our hearts?
And how difficult it is to reconcile with people who have offended you, but it's important.
Yeah, it's so important, exactly. Because often you really can't move on in life until you've reconciled. It's so important. And I've got Vera saying something here. And I always like this, Matthew. It's like taking all the rules to the next level. Yeah, it's so true, actually. That's really amazing. You're forced to think whether what we understand this far is what Christ meant. Yeah, it's actually so true. You're taking it up to the level. There's much more to these things that you shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not bear false witness. Yes, so true. There's a whole sort of world behind each of those very simple phrases. It's actually great. Superb. Anyhow, good. Anything more to add?
It's just I guess later we'll be reading from so all of this advice comes from the sermon. It's part of the Sermon on the Mount, which we started reading on Monday.
Beatitudes started reading on Monday.
Beatitudes, and then yesterday some other advice on different spheres and about anger and adultery.
That's good. Exactly. It's a whole bunch of readings. That's a good point, actually. A whole bunch.
They are all part of
the Sermon on the Mount. Including the Beatitudes. And I do like, it says at the end, it says, don't swear on God, in God's name or in earth's name. You just go, yes, or no. I like that as a saying. That is enough. Be a person of your word. Great. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. We've got 5 people watching live. Amazing. Makes up for the confusion and mess we had with our streaming earlier on.
We had to resort to some new ways.
Actually some new technology today. Exactly. Anyhow, okie dokes. Have a great Wednesday, and I'll be back tomorrow. See you. Bye. Great.